Welcome to a slow, beginner-friendly lesson on checking and saying types, made for absolute beginners. Today you learn how to check a type in Python and how to say types out loud. Still an overview skill, not every type deep dive. Here is a moment every beginner knows. You write a line, and Python does something you did not expect, or refuses with an error. Your first instinct might be to guess what went wrong. Resist that. Instead, gather one single fact. What type is the value involved? Almost every mystery in early Python shrinks the moment you know the type. If you do not know the type, you are guessing in the dark. If you do know it, you are working with the lights on. Gather one fact first, so train yourself to ask one question before anything else. What type is this value? It is the single most useful question in early Python, and the good news is that Python can answer it for you, immediately, in one word. You do not have to guess. You do not have to read the whole program. You just ask, and Python tells you. Once you know the type, the strange behavior usually makes sense, and the fix becomes obvious. Let us meet the tool that does this. The single best question. Imagine a row of closed boxes. You cannot see inside, but each one is labeled with a single word, what kind of thing it holds. Asking a value for its type is like reading that label. You do not need to open every box to know what is inside. One glance at the label, and you know how to handle it. Read the label. The tool is a built-in called type, written type, with parentheses. You put a value inside those parentheses, and Python answers with the type of that value. That is the whole tool. It takes no setup, no import, nothing to install. It is just there, always available. Think of type as a question you can ask any value. You say, type of this, and Python answers, plainly. In the next few examples we ask it about everything we have met so far. Always available, no setup. Here is the tool in action. We write type, open parenthesis, the number 5, close parenthesis. Python answers, class, in angle brackets, int. That answer is Python's way of saying, the type of 5 is int, a whole number. Read it slowly. The word class will make more sense later. For now, the part that matters is the word at the end, int. That is the type. 5 is an int. We asked, Python answered. We asked, Python answered. The answer comes in a slightly funny shape, the word class, in angle brackets, followed by the type name in quotes. Do not let the shape distract you. The part that matters is the single word at the end. Class int means the type is int. Class str means the type is str. The word class is a deeper idea we will meet much later in the course. For now, train your eye to skip straight to the last word. That last word is always the type. Skip to the last word. You might wonder why the word class keeps appearing. It is not a mistake, and it is not something you need to understand today. In Python, every type is implemented as something called a class, which is a deeper idea we will meet many lessons from now. All you need today is the last word. Class int means int. Class str means str. Class float means float. When you are ready, the word class will open a whole new door. Today, it is just a label on the answer. A door for later. Every value carries its type around with it, like a tag tied to the handle of a bag. You can ask any bag what it holds, and it will tell you, plainly and honestly. You never have to peer inside and guess. Type is the simple question that reads the tag. Ask it of anything, and it answers without fail. Ask any bag. Let us ask type about a piece of text. We write type, then hello in quotes, inside the parentheses. Python answers, class str. So a string, a piece of text in quotes, has the type str. Notice how the quotes are the clue even before we ask. Anything wrapped in quotes is a string. But asking type confirms it for certain. You do not have to wonder. You ask, and Python tells you, str. Quotes are the clue, now a number with a decimal point. We write type of 3.14. Python answers, class float. So a number written with a decimal point is a float, even if the fractional part were 0. 3.14 is a float. 3.0 would also be a float. The decimal point is the signal, and type confirms it. Whenever you are unsure whether a number is an int or a float, just ask type, and remove all doubt. The dot decides. Now a boolean. We write type of true, with a capital T. Python answers, class bool. So true is a bool, as we expected. The same goes for false. Both of them, capitalized, are values of type bool. Remember the capital letter, because true with a lowercase t is not a value at all, it is just a name Python does not recognize. The capital matters, and type confirms the type once you have it right. The capital matters. Think of every value as a parcel arriving at your door. Before you open it, you read the label. Fragile, perishable, this way up. The label tells you how to handle what is inside. In Python, the type is that label. Ask type, read the label, and you instantly know how to treat the value you are holding. Read the parcel label. So far we ask type about literal values, like the number 5. But type works on variables too, exactly the same way. We create a variable called age and give it the value 34. Then we ask type of age. Python answers, class int. The variable is just a name for the value, and the value is an int. Type tells you the type of whatever the variable currently holds. Simple as that. Names work too, a useful point. A variable does not have a fixed type of its own. It has the type of whatever value it currently holds. If age holds 34, then type of age is int. If you later assign age to a string, then type of age becomes str. The variable is just a label. The type belongs to the value behind the label. So if you reassign a variable and things start behaving strangely, ask type again. The answer may have changed. The type follows the value. Here is the habit I want you to build. Whenever something behaves strangely, before you change a single line of code, ask type. Strange behavior, ask the type. Unexpected error, ask the type. Operation that worked yesterday but fails today, ask the type. It is one short question, and it very often explains everything. Experienced programmers ask it dozens of times a day. There is no shame in asking. It is the smart first move, every time. The smart first move. Here is a classic beginner trap, and type is exactly the tool that exposes it. The value 5 written inside quotes, with quote marks around the digit, looks like a number. But it is not. The quotes make it a string. If you ask type of that quoted 5, Python will tell you, str, not int. This trips up almost every beginner at least once. The lesson is simple. Looks deceive, but type never does. When in doubt, ask, and trust the answer. Trust type, not looks. Learning to read types is a small brick, but it is load-bearing. Every debugging skill you build later will rest on this one habit, asking what type of value is. Place this brick carefully now, and the whole structure above it will stand straight. Small habits, repeated often, are how real skill is built. A load-bearing brick. Let us ask type about that special value none. We create a variable called winner and set it to none. Then we ask type of winner. Python answers, class none type. So none has its own type, called none type, which literally means the type of none. You will not use the word none type often, but seeing it once takes the mystery away. None is not nothing in a vague sense. It is a real value, with a real type, all its own. A real type, all its own. Think of type as your first debugging tool, the one you reach for before anything else. It answers a question you would otherwise have to guess at. Is this a number or a string of digits? Is this true the Boolean, or some other value? One short call, and you know. Ask it early, ask it often, and you will find that most mysteries dissolve before they become real problems. This single habit is worth more than a dozen clever tricks. Worth more than clever tricks. Here is the trap from earlier, shown in code. We assign value to 25, but wrapped in quotes. To the eye it looks like the number 25. But type reveals the truth. Type of value is str. It is text that happens to contain digits. This is exactly the kind of surprise that type is built to expose. Never trust the looks of a value. Ask its type, and you will never be fooled by quotes again. Never trust the looks. Here is a small practice you can do in your head right now. 4 values, x, y, z, and w. Before reading on, predict the type of each. X is 10, an int. Y is 2.5, a float. Z is 10 in quotes, a str. W is false, a bool. Building this reflex, predicting the type before you check, is what makes you fluent. The more you practice, the less you have to ask. But when in doubt, you always have type to fall back on. Predict, then check. Asking what type of value is might seem too small to matter. But every confident programmer does this constantly, without even thinking. It is the foundation under clear thinking in Python. Lay it now, gently, and every lesson that follows will be easier, because you will always know what kind of value you hold. The foundation under clarity. Let us gather the lesson. Type, with parentheses, asks any value for its type. The answer comes shaped like class int, in angle brackets, and the word that matters is always the last one. Type works on literals and on variables, reporting the type of the value they currently hold. And the great habit is this. Whenever something confuses you, ask type before you guess. One short question, one honest answer, and most mysteries simply disappear. That is the whole lesson. One question, one answer. The takeaway, in one breath. Type asks any value what type it is, and answers in a single word. Remember that quotes make a string, even when the content looks like a number, and type is the tool that keeps you honest about it. Build the reflex now. When confused, ask the type first. In the next lesson, we zoom in on our very first type in detail. We meet int, the whole numbers, and learn exactly what they are and when to use them. Another brick, done. Another brick, placed. Thanks for watching. Next, the int type, what it is.